Hi, welcome back to ISCT TV. And I have here with me today the VP for the ANZ region, Dr. Emily Blyth. Emily,
Hello.
thank you so much for being here with us.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what's happening in our region?
Yes, so much, as you well know. So a great pleasure to chat with you, my good friend. So what's happening in ANZ? So many things. So we've got a huge increase in activity in a lot of different areas. So there's GMP manufacturing, there's process development, there's clinical trials. We've got a new viral vector manufacturing facility that's just been commissioned. So the great thing about that is that that will be both commercial and academic viral vector manufacture locally and also hopefully more accessible to our local people in Australia, but it's also available for commercial stuff. We've got quite a lot of exciting things happening in bioengineering, so cell processing technologies for manufacture, microfluidics. So there's a huge investment that's just been announced just in the last couple of weeks about that. So we're really excited to see that brings together, that consortium brings together 20-something different partners, academic institutes, commercial, etc. So that's quite a lot of activity. And then we're all really thinking about what we can do about the rollout of established cell therapies versus, things that maybe are on the way, and how we can deal with a huge cost problem.
Right.
So we've got a very unique, in Australia and New Zealand, unique in the sense that they're remote but high-level healthcare services, and patient access in what's a universal healthcare systems in both countries is a big problem. Do companies want to market their product to us? Are we willing to pay the money that they're getting elsewhere? Do we need to then think about how we can look at manufacturing in our own country?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Super exciting story, which you know very well, but you guys don't know perhaps, is that New Zealand has its own homegrown cell therapy.
That's right.
To address the problem of that access issue. So, New Zealand is a small country, it's very remote, it's got regulatory challenges, it's got a universal healthcare system that isn't going to pay. And setting up an entire country's system for commercial CAR T is something that needs a critical mass.
Yeah,
and for all the reasons it wasn't coming together for New Zealand patients. So a New Zealand academic institution developed and tested the first CAR T, and now there's a company that's now
big shout
rolling
out to the
that
Malligan. They've done an
Malligan.
job. Amazing job.
Malligan and BioAura, the company that's been spun out. So, for us to see that's a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
It suits our region. So that's, there's a lot of things happening in the different sort of research, translation and treatment space.
Yeah.
And then in our group, our ISCT group, we've got a lot of activities, as you know. So we have a lot of participation by people from different parts of our sector, industry. We've got a really vibrant early stage professional group.
Definitely.
And a lot of excitement there. We've got legal and regulatory affairs committee that's active about things in our region. And so, regulation of all the changes of the new therapies is something that's really, important for us.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've sort of started to touch on it already, but what are some of the unique challenges that we have in our region versus, say, the US and Europe?
So we're big. I mean, I probably should speak to Australia rather than New Zealand.
Sure.
But I think it does cover New Zealand as well. That we're a big country with population centres with concentrated populations.
Yep.
So where I work, my CAR T service, clinical service, looks after people who are 8 hours drive away. And, the Perth service looks after people who are 11, 12, 13 hours drive away. And so that is a unique challenge. And so our health service has addressed that by supporting patient travel.
Right, so it was like travel grants for them?
No, we pay.
You just pay for it. Okay.
So that is a requirement for all patients who participate in advanced therapy clinical programs, that they have equity for distance. So the patients that live 8 hours drive away have their transport and accommodation supported by us.
Right, yeah.
You know, so when I say us, I mean the taxpayer, the health service pays. And, you know, what that means is we have identical recruitment and speed to treatment for our regional patients. So I think, you know, we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that perhaps the rest of the world can learn about, perhaps.
Oh, absolutely. That's
you know,
an amazing thing.
and
I mean, it's an issue for so many different countries where you have these hubs where everything's happening, and then no access for people who are remote. And it's same for New Zealand. It's a real issue.
Yeah. So we it's not acceptable to us that there would be inequities there, and so our community is willing to support that. And I guess the other things that we've done to deal with that, we're sort of remote locally, but we're also remote globally. And so one of the ways that we are dealing with that as a scientific community is through a program of the way clinical trials are regulated.
Yep.
So for anyone out there who might be having, you know, listening or watching, we're a very favourable environment to run clinical trials because we have a speed to first in human trials that's faster because the regulations are favourable for that phase of treatment.
Okay.
And so as a researcher, that is great because we're able to potentially bring things to market more quickly in a world-class health system. But as a physician, we also have the ability to access care for our patients via that clinical trial pathway that maybe they couldn't get access to otherwise.
That's amazing.
Yep. So, you know, that's, I guess, unique to our region, and, you know, it's a positive for us. We can perhaps teach others something about that, but then of course we have these, you know, the flip side is, you know, that maybe that we don't have access to some of the same things as happen all around the world.
Yeah. Or access a little bit slower, right?
Yeah, and, you know, there's a lot of work to be done still.
Yeah, I know. Do you want to tell us about the upcoming meeting?
Oh yes, so we have our annual regional meeting. So it's not an annual meeting because this is the annual meeting.
Right.
So we have a regional meeting, small a annual, that happens every year. That's for Australia and New Zealand, and we have a really fantastic lineup of speakers. We have a manufacturing GMP training workshop. We have, you know, some really nice social things.
It's fantastic, not to be missed. And if you want a trip to Australia, when is it, Emily?
August the 11th is the manufacturing workshop starts. 11th and 12th, and then we have 13th to 15th is the main meeting proper.
Come and find us if you want more info. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
No problem.
Really appreciate
really nice to chat,
it.
Alicia.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.